Radical Ones. I, as always, am your host, Radical Ryan Hunter on the Radical Retro Rewind podcast. But today is a little special. It's different. It is my dear, longtime friend, Chrissy, Tattle-Tale, which is her new YouTube channel.
Dude, you're so official. I can't even stand it. I love you so much. You're so like in your element right now, and I'm not. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Do I wave? I like awkwardly.
You can wave. I will take a Miss America wave anytime if you want to do that.
I just I'm so unbelievably socially awkward. It's painful. But like when I'm with you and we're just being us and we're just vibing, it's hilarious. But when it's official, like I really want to. I want to do a good job for his channel. Don't screw it up.
You can never screw it up. It's you being yourself, and that's what I want. But I have to say, Chrissy knows me off camera, where we were just saying before we recording this that we are so random. Like we start talking, and we end up here. Like something, it could be even something serious, and then like literally 2 seconds later, we're onto something else, and. So, forgive us all. We'll try to stay on some kind of topic, but...
Just to let y'all know in advance. What are we going to do? We're going to do our best. We'll do our best to finish our sentences. But, you know, I can't commit or promise really much about anything right now, so...
Yes, well, okay. This one will be easy. So, okay. I've known Chrissy for years now. Again, she is one of my dearest, longest friends. And she just started her YouTube journey. And how long has it been now, Chrissy?
3 months. It was literally 3 months, like 4 days ago. 7 days ago. 6 days ago. 3 months. It's a brand new channel. I don't think I'm following any of the YouTube protocols.
There is a lot, but...
It's not time before I get shut down. Yeah, the channel's called Tattle-Tale because I am literally telling on myself. Like the tagline is, "Are you brave enough to tell on yourself?" Because we're so quick to observe things around us and other people and think we can call out others for their stuff. But what about our own self-awareness? Are we calling out our own stuff? So this channel, I'll give full disclosure, it's a little cringy. I've gotten people have told me that they watch it and they get uncomfortable. They're like, you make me uncomfortable. I'm like, okie dokie, trigger warning.
And so when you hear that, like, okay, so off camera, I'd be like telling Chrissy, like, who the hell are these damn people? But on camera, I'll be like, well, how do you feel about that when someone tells you that? Is it something you think, because you do a lot of self-work, would you call it?
Yeah, I'm super, you know how, like, I guess a good example would be, you know how people are really into physical fitness, you know, they're at the gym, they're staying lean, they're working on their reps, they're working on their diet, you know, they're really into their physical vessel. Like, that's dope. I'm really not that much into my physical vessel. It's more I'm into, like, my emotional and mental vessel. Like, I pick things apart, I pick myself apart, I self-observe, I have really, really great self-awareness. And then I talk about that. Like, I own it. I don't have a lot of shame. I'm not embarrassed by being a human. Like, sometimes I get insecure. Sometimes I get jealous. Sometimes I get scared. Sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. You know, all these things that we try to, today in the world of social media and filters, we're constantly filtering away our lives. And we're taking, like, fractions of who we are and sugarcoating them and putting them on display. And I'm like, but what about what's going on behind the filtered photo? Like, this is real. This is humanness. So I'm sharing and disclosing and being as transparent and raw and vulnerable as possible. And then people are like, ugh, why is she saying that? Like, why would you own that? Why would you admit that? Why would you put all your business out there to the world? And I'm like, because nobody else is doing it. Nobody else is doing it.
And I do encourage everyone, and of course I will have the links in the video below, but don't go by these people. It's nothing that's going to shock you. Maybe the truth you'll be someone so honest about themselves might shock you, but it is not a scandalous YouTube by any means.
No,
Unless that will get you some more views, and I say it was scandalous, then it was very scandalous.
I'm like, it's coming off that way, like all week. It's really weird. It's just been this week that people are kind of coming clean, and they're like, and then they're saying things like, "Oh, well, as long as you're happy," and I'm like, "Oh God, that is so dismissive."
This is so crazy. So tell me, what could that be that's so makes her happy that she's doing the stretching videos? Oh,
I mean, my cute little stretching, dancing, meditation is very few and far between. It's literally just like I get a hair up my ass and I just feel like doing it. Like there's no rhyme or reason. There's no rhyme or reason to the channel's layout. Like it is very random. And in the description it says like what I'm doing. It's like home movie style clips, randomness, conversations with friends, like, you know, various perspectives, etc., etc. So I don't think it's really much of anything. I think it's just my space to disclose and to purge and to finally just get to be 100% me, whatever that looks like. Maybe one day I'm meditating. One day maybe I'm dishing out a public apology to everyone that I have wronged, which I did this week.
Just by you existing, evidently.
Apparently. It's just me. It's a space that I get to be 100% myself, whatever that looks like, and full disclosure and transparency, super candid, because majority of my life I wasn't. I was the person hiding behind Instagram filters and trying to control other people's perspectives of me. It's exhausting. I'm not doing that anymore. This is it. This is the thing.
Which is so crazy because if you know Chrissy in her real life, and we're in different states now, but at one point we were together. But if you know, you would never guess this from her. She's always such a bright, she always has this air of happiness, I would say, about, I don't know if it's just because we always had fun together, but I can't imagine anyone meeting you and just having a negative even, which I know you've had because we've spoken
all
over the
the
years.
time.
But you have such a warmth, a kindness to you. I don't get it. I don't get it, but
most of the time. I am, like, in general, I'm happy. Every day in my life, I'm very happy with my life. I've made big, big changes to my life. I used to live a very different life than the life I live today. You know, so if I'm happy, I do the work. I roll my sleeves up and I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Why do I feel like shit? And then I look around. Sometimes it's internal and I got to do some shadow work. And sometimes it's external, like, I'm not supposed to be hanging out with that person, you know, and I make the changes that I need to make. And then I share it on the channel. Like, I don't really think it's like, I don't get it. I don't think it's a big deal, but I'm finding out that apparently it is, that people are not understanding.
you would think, okay, this would be maybe in the year, 2004, maybe when YouTube and things were starting off, but I mean, today, it shouldn't be shocking. There's a channel for everybody.
I'm ready to find my online community. Yeah. I'm ready for them to find me, I should say. Because right now I've accidentally been attracting the opposite. But I think that there's purpose in this contrast. I think that there's a part of my being that's attracting it on purpose, because maybe I am going to take that contrast that I'm experiencing and really get stable in self. So when this Tattle-Tale channel kind of picks up and does what it's going to do, its divine purpose, I'll be centered enough and ready for it.
And that's half the battle. I think a lot of people don't realize that this hate could come along with what you do. Well, you know we like to keep it retro around here. So I do have some retro topics to discuss with Chrissy. But I want to ask, where did Tattle-Tale, though, come from? The name, because I love it. I love Tattle. I mean, it brings you back to, I guess, when you're a kid, and it's like, oh, there's a Tattle-Tale. But you're tattle-tailing on yourself, which is hysterical.
Yes, literally, 100%. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't really know where I heard it. I think it was during, like, the years that you and I first met, and I started getting into, like, life coaching, like going to, like, those little retreats and workshops and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think somewhere along the line I heard it there. Like, I think they had said something like, we're going to tell on ourselves today. And I was just like, that hit. And I was like, oh, I got a lot to say about me. That I probably shouldn't. But I felt great. It feels brave. It feels brave to be like, to own your shit.
Yeah.
It feels so brave to own it and be like, it's okay. It's okay, I'm having a human moment. And to just close it.
Oh my god. So, I'm laughing just because I'm just thinking about all of our past adventures. So, Miss Chrissy, there's a few stories that you've told me over the years, and I think these are just what, first off, your story about MacGyver. Now.
Yeah. Okay. I know everybody knows that watches my channel that I'm super in love with my husband Hamiko, and he is my twin flame. However, Richard Dean Anderson and I were supposed to get married. I knew it at 8 years old. I don't know what happened. He must have just not got my memo. But it's okay. It's fine. Most little girls were watching. I don't even know. I'm like My Little Pony. I don't know what little girls were watching.
That's what I was watching it for, Chrissy. She was watching MacGyver, and I was watching My Little Pony and brushing a pony's hair.
Yeah, okay. I don't know what little girls. I just know that I was into two things, and it was Ghostbusters, which we'll get there, and MacGyver. But MacGyver was my favorite. MacGyver was number one. I never missed an episode. And I was obsessed with him. I was in love with him. We were going to get married. I also wanted to be just like MacGyver. Like, when you're a little kid, you don't know what a crush is.
Yeah.
You just know you're drawn to this idol, and you don't know what that is. So I would go in the backyard with my best friend Andrew, who was this little chubby boy that lived next door. He's probably not anymore, but he was adorable back then. He was an adorable child. And he was my best friend, and we would play MacGyver. So,
and you would be MacGyver, I'm assuming.
Obviously, he was never, ever allowed to be MacGyver. Ever. He was like everybody else but MacGyver. I was the only MacGyver in that backyard. To this day, if you wanted to play MacGyver with me, you're not MacGyver. I am. So just to be clear.
I will gladly be MacGyver's backup.
Okay. Anyway. So there was this one episode where he was like, hope my memory's serving me correctly, I've not seen it in a while, but he was like trapped in this like basement looking space, and he used the pipes to climb up and out of where he had to like escape from. But he didn't have anything on him because it's MacGyver, he doesn't need anything on him. So he like shimmied off his jeans. It's
like, what do I have in my pocket? Oh. Okay.
So I remember, I was like, hey. I'm like, do what you gotta do, boy.
Climb up those pipes. Oh.
I'm like, I'll wait. But he did. He like took his jeans off and tied them on this pipe and like climbed his way out of it. And we're gonna have to YouTube and see if we can find this episode. But
MacGyver took off his pants.
The number one episode I remember.
Well, wait, Chrissy, do you remember? Was he a boxer or a brief person?
Brief.
He had briefs on. Okay.
I mean, it was a family show. I guess that's...
Why is MacGyver taking off his pants and monkey barring on some pipes then? If he was such a family show.
I mean, dude was trapped. What are you gonna do? Resourceful. Remember, his weapon was his brain.
You know, we all need to be a little like MacGyver. So you were in the backyard, right? You were.
I'm in the backyard. I'm full deep in this episode right now in my imagination. Me and Andrew, we got it going on. We are taking over this section of the backyard in full character. But I wasn't like gonna take my pants off because Andrew was there. I thought that would be like just too much with boundaries. Even at 8 years old, I was like, no, bro, we're not that cool. So
smart thinking.
Thank you. I took my belt off and I tied it to this part of the tree, and then was like climbing up it. Like my feet were like doing like this on like the trunk. Like I don't know what that called. Not rappel. Rappel's when you go down. I don't know. I got nothing.
Tiptoeing up the trunk of the tree.
Sure. So I'm almost like the branch is like this, and my body's like this, and
So you lassoed this? You Wonder Woman lassoed this branch with your belts, and you got a grip on it?
I think he lifted me up. Maybe?
Okay, teamwork.
I don't know. I used to boss him around. I was probably like, brace me up. Like,
I'm MacGyver. There's only one MacGyver here today.
Poor Andrew. I don't know why that little boy hung out with me every day, because I was bossy child.
Because you were probably still sweet, though. You know what you want, but you're a sweetheart.
I'm like sweet enough.
Maybe we can find Andrew. Andrew, if you're out there, my God, I would love to do a Chrissy, This Is Your Life, and have Andrew, like, by the way.
Wait, can I tell you something about Andrew real quick?
Yeah.
So we lost touch, obviously. We grew apart. When I was about 14, I moved away. I moved out of town.
Okay.
So years later, I had to be like 17 or 18, obviously, so he was as well. I went back to my old neighborhood and went, like, literally, like, the balls on me. I knocked on his front door, and his mom answered, and I was like, do you remember me? I'm Chrissy. I used to live 2 houses down. She's like, of course I remember.
MacGyver? Is that you?
Of course I remember. And I said, is Andrew home? I'd love to, like, see him. And she said, girl, he's with his cousin at the air base looking for UFOs. And I was like, yes!
Damn! Oh my God, I love. So this was okay. So that was when you were 17. So now
it had to be like 2001, 2002 when I went back to his house.
I love that.
You
had an impact on him. You had an impact on that boy. He's out there probably searching for MacGyver still.
As am I.
Aren't we? We all want a little MacGyver inside of us. You take that as you will. So wait, Chrissy.
Right,
Chrissy. And if Andrew, if you are listening to this, I hope you're still alive. I hope you weren't abducted, because we need to have a reunion.
I would love to find this kid. He was the best. He was my favorite best friend. So, all right. So I'm mid-air doing my MacGyver tricks on this belt and tree.
Okay.
The belt breaks. It snaps. And little Chrissy plummets to the ground. I land on my back and head, and I hit hard, knock myself out. I'm out. Blackout. Done.
You remember falling, I guess, and then just that's it.
I
Boom.
hit the ground, I hit my head, and it knocked me unconscious.
See, I've never had that. I'm so happy I've never been knocked unconscious. But anyway, I digress.
So it's blurry after that because I wasn't coherent or awake.
You know.
But from what I've been told, little Andrew takes off running back to my house because I had a huge property. So we had to like run back to the house, knock on the back door. My mother answers. She says he was white as a ghost, looked terrified, and she's like, "What's the matter?" And he goes, "Chrissy's dead." And she's like, "What?" Her?
Oh my God. Chrissy, didn't he run home too?
And then ran home. Like literally was like, "Chrissy's dead." And she was like, "What?" And like took off, running back to his house in full terror.
It was at that moment he said, "I need to start looking for UFOs because I can't be chasing this girl up these trees no more."
No, he's like, "I'm done with her. I can't hang." Yep.
So your mother found you, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but
do you remember how long you were out for? I mean,
but
God, you were so young.
In my lungs, like she had it knocked the wind out of me. Like I was trying, so she had to like assist me. I was done playing for that night. I had to come in and be done and go to bed. But I wasn't bleeding. My head, like I had bumps, but like I wasn't messed up. I didn't have to go to the hospital. I just needed to like go to bed. Like she was done. She was like.
Meanwhile, it was probably like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's like, no, Chrissy.
I know. And it's so funny because she's a nurse too. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have been, like, I shouldn't have gone to bed that night. But it was the night. Nobody cared. You were like, you're fine. I probably got in trouble. She was probably like, why are you doing that? I probably got yelled at.
He said you were dead. He said you were dead.
Nobody cared. In the 80s and 90s, nobody cared. Nobody cared about the kids. Nobody cared. They were like, you're fine. Don't do that. Okay. I just be like, okay, I won't. But I used to do stuff like that all the time. All the time. I one time rode my bicycle down the cellar doors, the cellar stair doors.
You would, Chrissy. You would.
And I fell, obviously. Obviously, I tumbled. What
did you think you were gonna Wizard of Oz it down the?
I thought I really believed that I was a daredevil, reincarnated. I probably was. I think in my old life I must have been, because the shit that I did as a kid, I still can't wrap my head around it.
So, which also brings me to your love of Chucky growing up. This is This is where it gets awkward. This time, right now. The energy of the channel is about to shift. This is when people are like, I always knew about her. I knew. This is why I don't watch her channel. Scandal.
If you have like a trigger warning symbol, this would probably be like where you put that. I don't know why I just did the Illuminati symbol.
Yeah, you want us to be inducted into the.
Hell, no, I don't. No way.
She's out here covering her left eye.
Hell no. Because they give you everything you want and then they kill you. Poor Whitney. Poor Whitney.
Bobby Christina.
Or anyone to gossip.
Yeah, you ain't heard that from us.
Saying, R.I.P. ladies. I don't even know why you're trying to drink out of that cup.
I don't even know either. Every time I try to drink, I'm spitting it out.
Oh, God, I love you. It was great. It's the greatest day of my life.
You know why? Because I got the MacGyver story now on film.
You heard it here.
You heard it here. MacGyver. So when they remake MacGyver for the 100th time.
I'm like, so when he sees this episode, he gonna mail me an autograph.
A pair of pants that you can climb. And a new belt. A hardier belt.
Meanwhile, my husband, who's 8 years younger than me, who's still 29 right now, is probably like, who's MacGyver? You probably don't even know. There's so many
You know what? You gotta tell me later if he knows when you gotta ask him later for me.
There's so many times I'll say something and he's like, huh? I'm like, you don't know what that is, do you? He's like, no.
You know what? I find that too over the years, especially if you're one of the older people at a job. If it's filled with teenagers, let's just say, and you're talking and they're like looking at you and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm older than you. I forgot.
A couple of years ago when I was still waitressing, the staff was so young. I mean, these girls are like 18, 19, 20, 21. And I would say something and they don't know. Like, I remember I was 13 when the internet came into my house and had to be explained to me. And when it was, you had a dial-up to go on the internet. The only thing you had was email. There's no Google. Like, there was no social media.
You got mail.
Yeah, until I was in my 20s. I was in my mid-20s. I think I was 25 when I got an iPhone and learned what Facebook was. And these kids are like born into it. They're like on Twitter, like, so I was just born, just came out my mom's badge.
Oh, 140 characters. Oh, I got this.
Like, am I wrong? I'm not wrong.
No, you're right. I mean, again, this is such a cliche, but MySpace?
I had a MySpace. MySpace was the beginning of the end for society, because that top 8.
That could make or break somebody.
I literally still have friends bringing it up to be like, I remember when I was not in your top 8. Like, it's a joke, obviously, but it's true. Like, you'd be my top 8 and you don't piss me off tomorrow, you're at the bottom of the list or not on the list at all. And then if I had someone on my top 8 and went to their page and I wasn't one of their top 8,
it was gone.
Oh my god! The internal agony. But then again, I have no social skills, so this should have been my first red flag of why I suck at having friends, is because I took MySpace so seriously.
No, it was. I mean, well, let's face it, we were younger when we were on there, and that top 8 was a thing, because you would think that, okay, you had great friends in high school, because I was still in, I think it was I was ending, like about high school around when, MySpace happened, and you think you're like, oh, my friend, my best friend, right? Oh.
I was in my 20s.
Why am I in number 8 behind these shirtless men?
Behind Tom.
Oh, Tom, I got rid of him. I'm sorry. He was my friend, but he was not going on the top 8. That is a splot that could be used for the current person that you were infatuated with, possibly, too.
Yeah, 23, I made my MySpace. I had it for like 2-3 years and then discovered Facebook.
I hated Facebook as well. I went back to not liking Facebook, but I did not want to go to Facebook at all from MySpace. I was like, we have music on our profiles.
I used to have Britney Spears. I know, I used to have Britney Spears as my music for MySpace.
Oh, I would change it. I would change it continuously.
This is Finny. That's the world. He's a Maine Coon. He's spoiled rotten. He thinks he runs the whole house. Well, he does run the whole house. I can't even lie.
You loved Chucky growing up, didn't you? I
did love Chucky. I still love Chucky, and yes, I did just recently watch the new series. I didn't hate it. I mean, it's obviously cheese, corny, camp, but I love that. I mean,
yeah,
that's Chucky. I mean, the first one was fairly serious, scary movie. Child's Play 1 in the 80s with Catherine Hicks. That was fairly taken seriously. It was scary, the way they did it was scary. Like, they made it serious, but it got less and less serious as time went on.
Like Freddy too. Yeah, the same thing. All these horror icons become jokesters, playsters.
Yeah. But I wasn't mad about it. I liked him when he was real scary, and I liked him when he was like boning his doll bride. Like, it was cool. Like, I liked all versions of Chucky. I was into it. But as a child, so what happened was, someone in my house was watching it. I don't know if it was my older sister or what, but somebody rented this from like Video City down the street and rented this VHS, watched it, and I saw it. I don't know why, because I was literally in kindergarten. So I had no business being in kindergarten watching Child's Play 1 in the 80s. But so someone was failing right then and there in babysitting. But I watched it and was horrified. I was terrified.
Yeah, I could imagine.
I was crying all night. I had to sleep with my sister, or my mom had to come and sleep with me. Like, I didn't want to sleep alone. I wanted to sleep with night lights. Like, I was so scared. But then the sun would come up, and I'd be like, I want to watch Chucky. And they'd be like, you are afraid of Chucky. And I would say, no, I'm not. I'm not afraid of Chucky. And they'd be like, okay. And I would end up watching it again. At some point, we ended up buying it. I don't remember even how that happened, but now we own it.
They're like, this is Chrissy's favorite movie. Forget about Wizard of Oz. No.
So this was the pattern. All day I would want to watch it, and then at night I'd be scared. Eventually, my parents... No, excuse me, scratch that. Eventually, I stopped being scared of it. So that is why I was allowed to continue to watch it. It was like I conquered my fear or something.
Okay.
I assumed that's what was happening. The more I exposed myself to it, the less scary it became. Which I think is like a real thing. Isn't that called like exposure therapy or something?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Anyways, so I eventually
experimenting.
But I used to play Chucky. Like, I'd get this, like, I asked for a retractable plastic knife so I could, like, stab people. And as I'm saying this, hold on. Like, I think about my childhood memories and I laugh at myself. And as I'm saying this out loud, as a woman who's almost 40, I'm like, why the hell are my parents buying me this stuff to play with? They probably just like, yeah, go, shut up, go play, bye.
Like, you know what? It happened after the MacGyver fall.
No, this was before MacGyver.
Oh! So then after the Chucky knife, all else is just like,
know. My mom was in nursing school full time. My dad was working 2 jobs. I feel like they just were like, whatever, go play. Like, I just feel like at that point in 1991 or 1990 rather, nobody had time to worry about. And like, what was I gonna do? I was gonna walk up to my sister with her retractable knife and be like, I'm Chucky, and she'd be like,
and
stab her. And nobody thought this was a problem in 1990. They were just like, kids, what are you gonna do? No red flags then.
After I just introduced to something, this is the nicest woman you've ever met.
Yeah. Meanwhile, as a child, I was this like sociopath.
But that just shows you that not everything that someone does as a child translates into adulthood. Because you were such an opposite of someone who's going to shank somebody with a knife at this point.
I mean, all jokes aside, what was really transpiring over the years with Chucky, with MacGyver, with Wednesday Addams, we'll talk about
that was on my list.
That's on your list. All these things, what was happening is I really just, it was a combination of a bunch of things. I never had a strong sense of identity anyway. I was just like, my solar plexus is just weak. I'm still working on it. But that combined with a child that I was in love with TV and movies. I had a vivid imagination. Anything I saw, I wanted to play. I was really, really good at imitating, which is why I was good at dance. Because you could show me something once and I would just see it and then go do it. And it was the same thing with how I played. I'd watch something on TV and I would go play it. And that was it. That's how I entertained myself. So that's really all it was. So whatever was introduced to me, I would kind of take on that persona or that identity or that role and play in that for a while until you showed me something else. So you would have thought that I would have been shown very specific things, but in the 90s, again, nobody cared.
You know, Chrissy usually picks up and does after she watches a show. Chucky. Well, okay, you mentioned Wednesday Addams. So tell us when you decided to become Wednesday Addams, right? That was your name.
All the things I've become.
Now, was this after, I'm assuming this is from the Addams Family movies?
Yes, the first Addams Family movie, you'll have to, I mean, you're the retro professional. Was it 91, 92?
I think it was 91, but please hold. 91, yes, it was 91.
So, first of all, it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. I am a huge fan of Christina Ricci.
I mean, we kind of were in the Christina Ricci era of movies.
Love.
Mermaids,
Now
Casper. I know you love some Casper, don't you?
Sure do. Loved her. Loved her growing up. Loved her today. I just
Now and Then.
Her.
That was a good movie, too.
Now and Then. When she was the tomboy and she punched that kid in the face.
And she had to, I remember her taping her breasts down because she didn't want breasts, too.
Terrible. I just recently watched, a little mini documentary on her, and I just love her. I just love her. And she is someone that is fairly transparent, and she talks openly about her struggles and how Hollywood doesn't really make sense to her, and she struggled with identity as well. So it's so funny because I just recently learned all that.
Wow.
So I'm like, wow, no wonder why I was so drawn to her. You're drawn to the people that you are very similar. What they say, your vibe attracts your tribe. I mean, your soul just knows who your people are. Anyway, so I love her. Saw her in Addams Family and thought she was just the coolest. So I came home we went to the movies. As a family, we went to the movie theater in 1991 to see Addams Family.
Another great memory, those back in the day, going with the fam to see a movie.
Yeah, popcorn and candy. I fell in love with Wednesday Addams because she was calm, cool, collective. She was a little dark. She had that edge, and I was like, yes, I need to be like that. I'm like that. I know I'm like that. So I came home. Again, this is the first grade, so I had to be 7 years old. And I asked my mother, do you have a black dress I could wear? And she was like, why? And I said, because I want to be Wednesday Addams today. And she knew I just saw the movie, and we already are familiar with whatever I see I can embody. So she's like, fine. So she finds this like old little, I don't even know. It was probably like her like classic funeral dress. You know how every woman has one of those? I'm pretty sure that's
God, yes. The one. Oh, there's my funeral outfit.
Pretty sure that's what I was wearing. So I put this on. I asked my sister to put braids in my hair, and she did. And then I like took to my room and like got in character. I can't make this shit up. This is why I have no friends. I just talk on YouTube.
They can't handle. They can't
I'm
handle
so
the truth.
I took a piece of paper and I traced my hands and I cut the hand out, and that was the thing.
This is genius, though. Come on, though.
This was so serious.
You were actually making props.
I sure was.
Are you?
Yeah.
So you had thing.
I had thing, and then so when I came out for dinner, because dinner was ready at that point, I was fully in character, and I was straight faced, and I took my seat at the table, all solemn and serious. And Wednesday, I swear to God, I can't make this up. And then I would like ask my mom to spit lines to me from the movie, so I can say Wednesday Addams lines back. But here's what's impressive: I saw the movie one time and remembered the scenes and the lines enough to say this to me, so I can say that to you.
That is amazing.
I could have been a child actress. They literally should have, because I remembered everything and I could take on all of these personas.
My God, if you were, you have no idea. I would have collected them all the
Nobody
movies.
did anything with my cat.
I would have been like, this is my Chrissy collection.
I could have done something with all of my awkwardness, but nope.
And you were Wednesday Addams for a while, right? You wanted to be?
So they entertained it because they thought it was like for the day. But this went on a week. And my mom
at school
like,
too? Do you remember if you went to school with?
No, because this was, I believe, and again, you have to double check me, but I believe.
Oh, maybe it was the summer.
No, it wasn't summer. I believe it was Christmas break.
Oh, let me look up when it came out.
You got to look it up. I'm pretty sure it was when I was on Christmas break.
Okay, it came out Friday, November 22nd. So like Thanksgiving time. So yeah, probably
Maybe
was some kind of break.
I remember not wearing it to school, but I would wear it like every day. This went on like I was taking showers and then putting the dress back on, and my mother was like, I was sleeping in it. And she was like, I think at one point there was like a conversation where they're like, okay, like that's enough Wednesday. Like I'm pretty sure it got taken away at some point, just like Chucky. At some point they took Chucky away. So they would enter the pattern of behavior. They would entertain me, and then they would get like a little bit concerned, and they would like kind of shut it down, and then I'd move on to something else. I should be telling all this to my therapist.
No. She wouldn't appreciate it like I do. You know what? I wish now in hindsight that you went to little Andrew's house and had him be your Pugsley.
He sure was.
Here, put on this white and black striped shirt. And
you know what's so funny is he literally looked like Pugsley.
That's what I'm picturing in my head now when you.
He kind of did though. Back then when he was little. So I'm looking at my hair right now, and you know what it reminds me of? Do you remember? Remember Rugrats?
Yes.
Do you remember Angelica's doll Cynthia?
Oh my God!
Tell me I don't have Cynthia hair.
Cynthia! I loved Angelica and Cynthia. I mean, I love them all, but
I'm pretty sure this is the Cynthia hair. Or
you have Scary Spice. Very Scary Spice used to also.
Yes, I was gonna say. Remember Liar Liar, when the secretary was like, "Do you like my hair?" And he's like, "Whatever takes the photos of yes." It's my hair.
Before they made the all-female Ghostbusters, there was an original Ghostbuster. what would you say? Like, you became a Ghostbuster for a little while.
Yeah, that was another thing I took on. And again, growing up, those were my two go-tos. It was like MacGyver and Ghostbusters.
Yes.
I would watch them on like repeat. There was little things thrown in there like Chucky, Wednesday Addams, but Ghostbusters was, and of course Bill Murray's character was my favorite. We don't even need to say it out loud. We already know. But so for my 4th birthday, I was in this, or maybe it was my 5th. It was the 4th or 5th birthday. I was in a preschool.
Okay.
And my mom wanted to have that birthday at the preschool with all my little preschool friends. So she did the invitations, and people were calling my mom to RSVP, like, I'll be there for Chrissy's birthday. And they were like, what is she like? Like, what does she play with? Like, what kind of Barbie?
Wow.
And my mom was like, Ghostbusters, everything Ghostbusters right now. And they were like, really? So I sat there, and there's pictures. Oh my God, my parents already have these albums of me in preschool opening up. I mean, are you talking about like a 4-year-old little girl in a dress opening up all these Ghostbuster figurines? I had a whole set. Like, I had the proton pack, and I used to, with the thing where like I'd take it out and I'd stomp on it. Oh, so yeah, I had all the supplies. I'd run around my house capturing ghosts, which is ironic today because I literally
you grew up to
my entire life is paranormal experiences for real, and I'm just like.
So maybe that's what it was, though. Maybe part of you, I mean, yeah, you did love that fantasy and, like, things like that, but
yeah,
maybe you kind of identified with them.
I mean, yeah, I'm scared. I mean, maybe because, you know, like, if you really think about it, I identified with MacGyver's thirst for adventure. I identified with Wednesday Addams' edginess. I identify with Chucky's hate for people. So yeah, I mean, there was a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of connection between me and these characters, for sure. Oh my God, I'm gonna put on a 5150 hold. I feel it coming.
So I have done the Radical This, Retro That a few times on the show. And I did put some together for Miss Chrissy here.
I'm so happy.
So, without further ado,
Radical This, Retro That.
Chrissy. This one I kind of know because you kind of told me when you heard the first one, but I'm going to say it anyway. Pee Wee Herman or Ernest?
Ernest! Hello!
Yep, this was, yep.
You know what I mean?
Okay. And I love that love for Ernest because I feel like Ernest does get a lot of, he doesn't get that love.
I am an Ernest fan. My two favorites are Ernest Scared Stupid and Ernest Saves Christmas.
Those, oh my God, Scared Stupid is, I mean, Christmas too, but Scared Stupid is amazing.
And Eartha Kitt is in Ernest Scared. Can we take a moment of silence for Eartha Kitt? Queen. Okay.
Love Eartha. Love Eartha. Okay. Now this one's very fine-tuned to you. The Secret Garden or Labyrinth?
Oh! Okay. Listen, they're great. But you know I'm going to pick Labyrinth because I am a Bowie fan. Me and David Bowie. I got to wear his jacket.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that time.
I thought who the hell I was in his jacket.
Do you have a preference between the Bradys of the Brady Bunch or the Tanners from Full House?
The Tanners.
It's because Michelle's your homegirl.
You know what? She annoyed the crap out of me. I didn't like her character, and I know it's terrible because she was a toddler. Like, who says they don't like a toddler? But I never got into. I really. I think
I like Stephanie better.
I like Stephanie. I did, especially when she hung out with Gia. And
yeah.
Remember when she almost got into the car accident?
With the smoking.
I was down for some Gia. Gia made a cameo appearance on Friends.
Because what else is she gonna do, that woman? Where else has she been? I think she made a cameo on Fuller House too on Netflix, the sequel.
Really? I know.
Because that's all she's done.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh, sorry, Gia. Okay.
We love her. We love Gia.
Ghostbusters or the Goonies? I went with the G. The G thing.
This one's hard. Oh, no. Okay. If you would have asked childhood Chrissy, she would have said Ghostbusters.
Yes.
But you're asking almost 38-year-old Chrissy, and I'm going to say Goonies.
Wow! I am shocked. That was one of the ones I was like, I wonder. Wow.
Yeah, to this day, like Kalito and I, we watch the Goonies at least once a year.
Oh, I love that.
Corey Feldman and Mel.
I was gonna say, is that your favorite character?
Yes, Mouth is my favorite character. I do love Corey Feldman. Poor Corey. I love Corey. But one of my favorite part in the whole movie is actually when the Patellis have Chunk and they're gonna put his hand in a blender, and I swear to God, this is me. He's like, okay, I'll talk. And he's like in the 2nd grade, and he just starts telling his whole life story, and I was like,
you would say that.
You would never want me on the stand in your defense. I'm telling you, I will rat everybody out. I was so down. Everybody's secrets, my own secrets. I can't hold anything in. I cannot hold anything in.
Chrissy's spirit animal, Chunk.
Seriously, I literally relate to Chunk on so many levels in that movie. You would think that would be like one of like the cheerleader, you know, what's her name, Terry Green? No.
Yes. No, I wouldn't.
I'm totally Chunk.
I love that. Now, see, I'm diving deeper into the personality of Chrissy. Okay. Do you have a preference of, let's see, this is so crazy, the Kool-Aid Man or the California Raisins?
Okay. I'm going to tell you why I'm going to choose the California Raisins.
Please do.
Although I really do love when he comes to the wall, the Kool-Aid Man, he's like, oh, shit. But, as a child, my nanny, my grandmother, who's obviously dead, like the rest of my family, it's fine. She used to collect the California Raisins. And I used to remember that. Do you remember when they used to sing Heard It Through the Grapevine?
Yes!
So when I hear that song, I still think of her. So
I wish they brought them back. What else are they gonna do for raisins? I mean, there's sort of raisin commercials.
What else are they gonna do? Fucking raisins.
Raisins. Okay. Are you afraid of the dark or Goosebumps?
Are you afraid of the dark? And that episode with the red bicycle with Ricky, and he fell up the bridge, and he came back and he was in his class, and it was literally like math class, and Dead Ricky's like after
Dead Ricky.
Scared the crap out of me. I loved it. I watched it a million times. Still scary. It's a little still scary, I think.
Yeah. And I never liked Goosebumps as much either. I mean,
And do you remember the episode with the little girl in the mirror, the deaf girl? They bullied the deaf girl and pushed her into the mirror. That was some messed up stuff. That was like, that cut deep. We were like, whoa, you bullying a deaf kid. You remember the clown house, the kid with the red hair?
That's the one with the cigar, right? With like you had to take the nose off the prop in the fun house, and the clown was not happy about that.
What was his name? Was it Bozo? I don't think it was Bozo. What was it? No, the Tale of the Laughing Clown.
Oh my God, is it the Laughing Clown?
If I just remembered that, I want a gold star right this second.
It's Zebo the Clown.
Zebo.
The Tale of Laughing in the Dark.
Oh!
So you got it close.
Okay. I could have sworn Laughing was in it. All right, cool. I don't feel so
okay. Rainbow Bright or Lisa Frank, the company that made, to me, the best stickers and accessories ever because I want neon dolphins and penguins and tigers on everything personally.
I was gonna say Rainbow Bright or Punky Brewster. So you threw me for a loop. I don't know. I was lukewarm on all of them. I watched Rainbow Bright a couple times. She was cool, but we never really kicked it. And
Chucky was more your speed. Like Rainbow Bright, what you got? Rainbows? I got a knife.
Yeah, you cool, but whatever. I felt like she was too vanilla, like I was bored. And Lisa Frank, my sister, was more into this like sticker collection. I did try and steal a lot of her stickers. I don't know. Pass.
Okay. Moving on. What about Alf or Harry and the Hendersons?
Harry and the Hendersons. I loved the Bigfoot. And Alf ate cats, and you know me.
He did eat cats. He did eat cats.
No, I wasn't cool with that.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch or Clarissa Explains It All. Both played by... You know what? And I didn't want to give it away earlier because I was going to ask you this. But I think what you do is like Clarissa Explains It All. Because she randomly just turned to the camera and spoke to everybody. And it was about her life and what's going on. So you are Clarissa. It's Chrissy Explains It All.
I sure do.
Nah. Yeah, I would love. Oh my god, if I can get you to recreate the intro.
I'm so.
Pink shit, pink leggings on over like black shorts.
Get the props ready because I'm coming to New York this summer, and I will do this. 1,000% I will do this.
Oh my god. Okay, we gotta make this happen, everybody. Chrissy's gonna explain it all.
I remember that Blossom used to do it. Blossom would turn on her camera and talk.
Well, actually, you did bring up Blossom, so... Where's my Blossom question? Blossom's in here somewhere. Saved by the Bell or Blossom?
Okay, again. Childhood Chrissy would say Saved by the Bell.
Okay.
Zach Morris was like another persona I took on at one point.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Time out.
But today, like as an adult, like no lie, like last summer when Lisa was on deployment, I just rewatched all of the old Blossoms and I had like a whole new appreciation for her in that show. And I love the brother, the one that's an alcoholic. He was my favorite.
The brother, yes.
Anthony. He was my favorite character. So, I always pick people that are struggling. I love the broken. But, yeah, I'm going to say today I would say Blossom. As a kid, I probably would have said Save It Up.
That's fine with me. I like that because you both, at one point in your life, you liked both. One more than the other. Okay, what about the Muppets or the Sesame Street Muppets? I think they're related, but not by blood.
I'm gonna say Sesame Street.
Okay.
I watched it growing up all the time. Like I love Sesame Street. You know, I'm totally thinking. My mind is like wandering. I just remember this one time. Did you see the movie with the Muppets? But they're not like the Muppets. They're just like Muppet puppets.
Okay.
And I think it's Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, Smile Time. Is the Smile Time Murder something like that?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Seen it.
Yes.
So I watched it like when it first came out and loved it, but it was hilarious. So like last year, I wanted to watch it again.
Yeah.
So I went to bring it up on like whatever apps we had, like Netflix, whatever. And me and Polito sat and watched the real Muppets, like Jim Henson's Muppets, for 5 minutes, waiting for them to curse or have sex with each other, and it just wasn't happening. And then we realized that we were watching the wrong Muppet movie. I'm like, when does it get good? watching this children's show like, when does it get funny?
When did they start having sex?
I just kept waiting for it. It wasn't happening. So, bummer. And then he's like, I don't think this is the right Muppet movie. I'm like, oh shit.
Why isn't Miss Piggy taking off her top now?
I'm like, lame.
Must have been censored. Censored for home use.
I know.
I was burning up.
And we just were sitting there. We were just like sitting there, like, just waiting. And I'm like, I remember this movie being funnier. Swear to God. I wish you was here to back me up on this story.
Why is Diana Ross coming out? It's like the Muppet Show from like.
I think we had actually put on Muppets Take Manhattan.
Oh.
It wasn't.
She's like, no, there ain't no sex in men.
No, it was so boring.
I was not expecting that. That was a bonus, and I am here for it. That story.
I got you.
Oh my God. Okay.
My face literally hurts from smiling. It literally hurts. I'm like, oh my God, we have to end this podcast next research.
Any preference between Married with Children or Roseanne?
Oh, Roseanne. The Connors? My heart. Roseanne.
Okay.
Don't even get me started about how she's not on it anymore. I'm so mad.
I know. I hate that they killed her
Screw
off.
that, and now we're all paying the price for it.
I cannot believe that show is actually still on, though. True, I couldn't believe that it made it too.
Yeah, I love Roseanne. That show, when it hit in the 80s, changed the program. Like, you think we would have shows like Shameless today?
Yes.
She changed the whole game of television.
Like a middle class family that's struggling, and
Yes,
even like
everything.
gay, African American cast member. I mean, it was ahead of its time.
But even right down to their clothes, they would wear the same outfits, just like we do. In my real life, my closet's this big. I only have a few outfits.
Yeah.
So the same thing. Like, but you watch these shows, they're always dressed to the nines. They're walking around their living room in heels.
You're like, yeah, where are you getting these clothes from?
I'm like, that's not real life. Like, my mom didn't walk them back in heels. Like, what are we doing? So it was very real. That wasn't happening.
Chrissy's dead. No,
She's dead.
Okay,
One day I'm
what?
gonna die, and that story's gonna be twice as funny. Because then we can actually say it, and it'll be true.
Oh my God! Please, Andrew, this is an SOS. Andrew. You know who you are.
Come here. Come here. Say hi.
Is that Halit?
Yeah.
Hey,
Hi! Hey, you!
how's it going?
Very good. You look as handsome as ever.
Ah, thank you. I got that.
Oh,
nice
look at
thing
that! Look at that smile.
I do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's love. That's love.
That is
You've been
it.
good.
Yep. Staying out of trouble.
Even better. But with this one over here, look, she's probably causing a lot of trouble. This Chrissy.
She is.
Me?
That's all she does.
Me? I don't know
Well,
what
trouble.
you speak of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her and this one. It's trouble.
Ah,
seeing
it
you
was
again.
so good to see you, Halit. Madonna or Janet Jackson?
Madonna.
Madonna. Okay.
Both.
You got that one. Got. I think this one will be easy. Or maybe not. Britney or Christina?
Britney. I mean, I love Christina. I do, but Britney is in my soul.
Christina, you could go, bye. No, just...
I love Xtina. I do. She got pipes on her. That girl. can sing.
Yes, she does, but...
But Britney, like, I really believe, like, if we would have met, we would have been friends. But doesn't everybody have that belief about Britney? They probably all believe that she'd be friends with them.
I do hear, though, that, like, in the people in Hollywood, they've always said she's so grounded and so nice. So I could see that. And things would have turned out differently for her, maybe, if she had you.
Oh. I would have had a lot to say. That is crazy. Poor Britney. That is some...
Okay, down to the line now. We have Inspector Gadget, which I know you wanted to be Penny possibly at one point.
I did, and Penny knew about the iPhone lock before any of us.
I was gonna say, Penny was out there. Penny was out there coming up with some technology. But if you had to put Inspector Gadget or Scooby-Doo.
Oh, Inspector Gadget.
Bam bam! Flintstones or the Jetsons? Any preference?
Flintstones.
What about
I really want to go back to like cave times.
I'm okay.
Future sucks. I want to go back.
What about The Nanny or The Golden Girls?
Golden Girls.
Mmm.
Blanche.
Okay. Oh, yeah, well. I ain't the one to gossip, but. No, just.
Blanche. I'm going to be Blanche while I'm an old lady.
Hey, Step by Step or Boy Meets World? Do you have a preference?
Boy Meets World.
Ooh.
I'm a Ryder Strong fan.
Oh! Yeah. Another person you don't see really often. With Gia from Full House. Did you like Nickelodeon, or did you prefer Nick or Disney if you had to choose?
Oh, Nickelodeon.
I agree.
Definitely Nickelodeon.
That was it.
Yay!
That's what I came up with.
We did it.
So this was a little random, right? But I hope you got to learn a little more about Miss Chrissy here. I think the world of her. Off camera, of course, Chrissy has been one of my biggest supporters over the years. Not just with this, I mean, in life in general. So, she means so much to me. So I know this journey is very important to her. I feel like you're helping people, honestly. I told her yesterday that there's going to be a time that... And on YouTube, it's all about... You never know about the numbers and this and that, which I hate that part about it. But... I really think she's reaching people, and her openness and her, you know, the way she just lets you in, you feel like you're talking to a friend. So I really highly recommend, if anyone has a few minutes, to check out Chrissy's channel. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And she's a ray of sunshine. Even on the days that she's not feeling well, she'll be like, I'm coming on. This is what happened. And by the end of it, she's like laughing. So, you could always get turned around even when you watch one of her videos. Tattle-Tale, I will have the details below. Chrissy.
I love you so much. Thank you for
I love you too.
Everything, just for being you.
Thank you for being you. Tattle-Tale is the channel. Like I said, I'll have the link there. You kind of just sporadically update, right? So if people subscribe, they'll just randomly get one midday, night, morning. It's like whenever you decide.
The inspiration hits. Like lately, I've been doing a video a day. So.
Chrissy, anything you'd like to say to the people before we head off?
Just thank you. Just thank you to you. Thank you for letting me be a guest on your show. I love your show. I love you. I love who you are as a person. I love who you are in your craft. I think that you have a way of taking things that, like we say, the retro things, taking things that are forgotten or laying dormant or just not active in people's memories and bringing them back to life, back to the front of their brains, back to that sensation of how they felt when they were indulging in that toy or that show or that movie from when their childhood. Like you literally resurrect parts of people. And I think that that's extraordinary. And I can't wait for you to be rich and famous. So you could be my sugar daddy. And I'll
be sending some cash right now.
Hey, I love you. I love who you are as a human. And I love your channel. And I'm so grateful you let me come on and play with you. And I can't wait to see you in person this summer.
Yeah, we saw each other in December again. So we're going to have another reuniting.
Yeah.
I love it. So thank you, Chrissy. Oh my god, thank you. Please check out Tattle-Tale. You won't be disappointed. If you like what you saw here, we would love to have you back. And thank you, Chrissy, for being here. I love you so much. And thank you for bringing me back with these stories. I loved it. I've heard some of them before, and I think of them often, and now I got them forever in video form to laugh at when I need a laugh.
Well, there's many more stories like it, so anytime you want, I got you.
Thank you so much. All right, Radical Ones, we'll be back next time, as always, on the Radical Retro Rewind podcast. Goodbye.